curating the videos in this exhibit, we're trying to set a foundational conversation as to the building blocks of the modern language that exists today. And there's an extraordinary amount of work that could and should be called out. But when we really think about the modern skateboard video in the sense of a quote-unquote part, really the finessing and the honing of that part comes from the exhaustive work that Mike did that I think was an inspiration he was chasing. And you can feel it in the work that we saw. And the best way to feel it is there was, we had a Shackle Me Not with a skit, it's kind of funny. Then we go into Matt Hensley and Hocus Pocus, and you start to feel that vibe. I'm sure all you just felt Matt. He did, ollie tail grab, manual over the trash can. He does a little grind in the grass, and like you feel the grit of the skating. You're like, I know that guy. And Mike really understood how to combine music and skating to get you to know him. And then you watch this moment, and it's extraordinary. And it's comes right after Mike Carroll with the classical music. So Mike starts filming with Dan Sturt. They start shooting things really well. They look amazing. The tricks just look gorgeous. The filming is gorgeous. The lighting is great. And he puts classical music to it. And to me, that's a moment, because skateboarding was kind of presented a certain way before that. And then you have this conversation. Now you have classical music. But the scale of skateboarding hasn't really changed yet. And then Sean Sheffy comes along in the Life video, which we show here. And now you hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Ah! Now that triggers us cinematically. Mike knows it because he loves movies and he feels it. And that part does something really unique that's just, I want people to track, which is he shows you the spots. It's very crude, but he shows you the spots that are gonna get fucking destroyed in the part. And he starts it and it's like, and boom, boom, all the music, you're like, that's cinematic tension. And then you see a handrail, you see a gap, you see another ledge. And then all of a sudden, slow-mo, Sheffy comes in and like rail slide, backside grab to Fakey on that spot near the airport. And you're like, oh, and it's slow-mo and it's gnarly and you hear the music. So right there, you feel a cinematic conversation happening where the audience is now engaged in the film. The music triggers something. The tone and the texture of the material supplants the aesthetic, and now you're in. And then you have Pat Duffy in Questionable, which is the last piece of Mike. And that has the Primus song that resolves into The Doors. And in that part, Mike had, dare I say, an instrument in front of his camera that could hit the notes that he wanted the medium to get to. So you could have a crazy trick on a handrail that no one ever saw. And so back then, no one knew about a video before it came out. So you sit down in the theater, which these videos were premiered at that time, and when Questionable premiered, people lost their fucking minds because they'd never seen anything like it. They'd never seen skating like it, and they'd never seen presentation like it. So Mike refined this sense of dramatic anticipation and a cinematic experience. And I think it was this collective, learned, intuitive feeling that he had. And that's what I hope you all take from it. And you see Virtual refines that. All the parts in Virtual, you know who every skater is with the music and the moments that we're choosing. So again, like, that's really Mike's contribution, is taking the medium, preserving in the presentation the fun and joy of skateboarding, but making it a cinematic experience. Making it so that people who don't skateboard could watch it and feel it. And in my viewpoint, and I know from a curatorial standpoint, we owe a debt of gratitude to Mike Ternasky. And it came from a super authentic place. He just wanted to celebrate these kids. That's so good.
Thank you, Matt. I just wanted to say, as a fan,
You did. The chain out, the 2000 trip.
I wanted to skate to Plan B because of you. And yeah, thanks for everything you and Mike did to inspire a generation, for sure.
Amen.
And I just want to wrap up by saying, back when they were making videos, it wasn't as simple as pulling out your iPhone, hitting record, and posting to a social media platform, right? There was literally tapes and analog things you all had to do, and you'll get to see some of that in the exhibit before we head out.